So
Great.
yeah, so I think a lot of it's going to be the same. Most of what I feel like is going to be different is around the PAP supplies, because I think they have a different vendor this year,
Oh, okay.
but we'll see.
Jenny and I are both going to the lab suit training,
Nice.
the later one. But anyway, let me share my screen here for everybody.
And hopefully Maria, and that she's from Mile High Flea Market from Adelante, and Spring, and Sarah. Are those the ones we're waiting for still?
Sarah messaged me that she didn't put it on her calendar, so now she had a conflict. So,
Oh,
so Alex, who does not have their steps done from our group?
this group is actually good.
We're okay. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, I'm so happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that people might want to check on is the screenings you have listed. If anybody feels like things have shifted with what you do or don't want to offer for your site, but we're good on the steps. So you guys aren't stopping us. I had shared with the group this morning that the meeting Carrie talked about that there were some sites that didn't finish their step 1, 2, or 3, and that's going to stop us from actually going live to find a fair on Monday. Literally, the system won't let us go live without people finishing their steps. So I got 3 more sites to finish their steps today, but there's still 4 more in there that are not done. But you guys can definitely go and tweak your screenings anytime. That's fine. Or I can do it for you if you need me to.
Great. I watched a couple of videos after the meeting this morning on how to use the volunteer management system, because it's new for me too. So I did notice that there's 5 or 6 people that have signed up that I need to email. So just try to keep an eye on your volunteers and reach out to them when they register or sign up. Don't want to lose anybody this quickly. So communication is really crucial in the beginning.
Yes.
So in the meeting this morning, Metro Council meeting, they talked a lot about marketing. And so there's things that are starting at the beginning of next week when we do go live for participants to sign up. So so there's some press releases, statewide and local press releases that will begin next week. The local releases are more geared towards the local fair locations and dates. So they'll be a little bit more specific. They're also in Spanish. There's also direct mail and bulk emails for those that attended past health fairs. Try to make everybody aware that the fairs are back, and if they need the free or low cost screenings, that 9Health is back. You also will get 25 colored flyers. Each site will get that, both English and Spanish. Volunteer management system includes social media templates. I did pull up, I just took a screenshot when I pulled it up. So on your resource page, the publicity tools are listed there for you. There's so many great documents that are available for you to use to try to get the information out to the public in your area about your fair. Sometimes it takes a little bit of legwork to put some of these things up. I know that we often post a lot of things around campus, and but truly getting it in the community, you really just need to ask business owners and managers of larger facilities if you can post something in the entryway. Any questions about publicity?
And yeah, and if you guys aren't able to access it's the resource library within the volunteer management system. So that's like, yeah, that one that Carrie's hovering over. So many things in there, but then she's right. Publicity tools are one folder within that resource library. And
Yeah.
then you'll see all this beautiful stuff.
And in that library, there are also a lot of training videos, which is, like I said, what I watched. I watched several today. Kristen has a really nice voice when she does the trainings. So I watched several of the volunteer system videos to see how to navigate most efficiently and where to find certain things. So if you have done a health fair before, it's just a little bit different. Becca, have you had a chance to get in there and look at that?
The trainings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've been looking at some of them. Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah, Becca had a really good question at the end of last week where you guys have Rocky Vista students. And so she was wondering, should I be tracking these Rocky Vista students in the volunteer system? And that's something that, you know, is obviously tricky to do because you guys don't have all their names and email addresses. So if you do get them from Adriana at Rocky Vista University and you want to add them in there and they're amenable to it, there is a way to add a user. You just have to have first name, last name, email address, and then you create a fake password for them. So you can do it. You can enter them in the system that way. I don't think you guys are probably going to get their names and email addresses. So you just want to make sure that if you had a volunteer place for that position that the Rocky Vista students are filling, that you turn it off, right? That you really one of the things you can do is leave it there and just go in that volunteer position and mark it as private, because then nobody can sign up if it's marked as private. So it's an easy way to do it.
A good point. Yeah, I'm hoping to get an update from Adriana about the numbers that we can expect for.
Sure, let me, if you want to keep going, I got an email from her.
Okay, great.
Yeah, feel free to keep going, but I do have some numbers.
Okay, super. Other things, t-shirts, as I mentioned in the last meeting, Nine Health is providing t-shirts for all volunteers. You just need to place an order. And I will, once I get the link from Kristen tomorrow, I'll send everybody an email blast so that it's kind of at the top of your email list, and you'll have that link for ordering t-shirts. Just make sure that when you're contacting volunteers, if they want a t-shirt, if you want to deal with this, that you get their size. And just so you know, they do have a shortage in extra large t-shirts. So keep that in mind also.
Yeah, you guys should probably be okay. Fingers crossed. I think it's all our May fairs that are going to struggle more and there's not going to be enough XL for them. So
Yeah,
you guys should probably be good.
Site grants and vouchers are in the process of being mailed out. And Alex, you mentioned something in the meeting today that if there are other expenses that maybe are not covered by the site grants because they are a little bit smaller, that Nine Health could be directly invoiced for additional expenditures if they happen to be outside of your grant amount.
Yeah. Well, we know that, the site leadership teams are, full of really honorable people. You guys are using the money as wisely, as best as you possibly can to pay for everything. So, you just keep doing that, keep tracking things as best you can. One of the nice things for our finance department about invoicing them directly is that they really can tally nicely and see what's happening with the money. Some of the time when these site grants go out, it's ambiguous, what's going on and how is the money being used. So it's a little bit of extra work for our finance department, but they actually really valued it and liked being able to see where the money is going. So if you guys need more help with security, room rentals, chair or table rentals, right, Becca? Any of those kinds of things, if that is happening and we know what you guys are dealing with to get your fair going, it's really solid way for us to show sponsors and grantors, that kind of thing, what we need help with to make these fairs happen. So yeah, just let me know and then I'll nudge our finance team and let them know you guys need extra support and the site grant didn't cover everything.
Great. Yeah, I know a couple of those things you mentioned are things that we're having to deal with extra security, and we have to rent a community room on campus. And I think just that one thing is $100. It might even be more. So security, I have no idea what that extra fee is going to be. So
yeah. I wanted to say that phone number that was at the bottom of that last section. Save that in your cell phones, you guys. The day of the fair, we kind of changed it up this year. So in years past, we had a lot of different numbers. We had this whole kind of phone tree. If this happens, call this number. If this happens, call that number. We would just think that's pretty exhausting for people. So every time there's a day where fairs are running, we have about 5 different people that will be manning this phone number. And it's linked to our cell phone. So it's not like we have to physically change phones with each other, but we all are linked through a system that links to that specific number. So whether it's you need more supplies, you need a screening turned off because a volunteer didn't show up, there's a medical emergency, this is your catch-all number for everything. Okay, and then they'll disseminate. That person will go, okay, all right, I see your problem, I hear you, and they'll get to the right person. So you only have to know one number.
that's nice.
Yeah.
At the new bat phone?
The bat phone.
Basically, yeah. The bat phone is actually it wasn't renewed. So that number is no longer active. So we have all of our staff. We have 3 different nurses now. One is on staff, and then we have 2 other contract nurses, and we have all their numbers. So we'll know who are on-call nurses that day. So the person that's manning this number will know exactly who to get to you guys. And we'll have your name and your number and have them contact you back. Or if it's supply shortage, we'll do the same thing with the supply people that are on call that day. So it's our job to scramble, not yours.
Okay, some health and wellness things. I didn't see an email that updated the site, so I'm not really sure who in the little district was approved for RA. Well, there are 2 sites, I think.
Yeah. So I know YMCA is one.
And is it Westminster?
Let me give you, before I leave this email that I have with Adriana, because I've got it open, let me give you the numbers really quick for Rocky Vista. And then I'll go and open the email from Edith that I've got. So Adriana says, Carrie, that Longmont is going to get 15 students. And Boulder is going to get, Boulder YMCA is going to get 10. And Westminster is going to get 10. All right, and then I'll open up. Edith has got. Okay. I believe that Mile High Flea Market is also getting RA. Yep. Where's the one from today? All of these. Oh, there it is. I have a lot of RA emails from Edith as we go back and forth and update each other, but there's the one from this morning. It's taking its time. Yeah, Boulder, Mile High. That's the only 2 for our district.
Okay, just
Oh,
those.
wait. Westminster is there. I'm wrong. Westminster's there too.
Great. Okay, So I mean, I'm sure Becca, you have this all sorted out. The Westminster campus will probably need a little bit of guidance about where to put it and any additional um, table or things that they will need and where to place that person. And Mile High Flea Market, it sounded like she had her plan sorted out as well. But I'll check in with her. Alex, are any of our sites the DPP?
Let's see. Bobby Archer is working on DPP stuff. Let me go to her last update. Okay. Sorry. Westminster.
Oh,
And I think that's it that I have for our sites. Yep. Yep, just Westminster Front Range. Yep.
so yeah, this is great. So we're getting 15 students. So we also do have a Vista Women's Care. We have 2 providers coming from there to do PAP and breasts. So, you know, when Rocky Vista students are doing really sensitive screenings like PAP and breast and prostate, they have to have somebody kind of hovering over them or somebody in the room with them, a professor, medical doctor. So they might need a little bit more support. They might not have enough professors to be in every room that we have available. So we'll have a couple more medical doctors there to kind of help out in that particular screening. Skin as well. We're in contact with Calgren Dermatology to also help. Skin screening is really, it's a huge screening. So the more the merrier.
That's great.
And the hearing screening, I know that you mentioned that there's a partnership with an organization for hearing screening, and there will be
Mhm.
audiologists that will be present there the
Yeah.
day of. And if that's not an option, there's also virtual hearing.
Yeah, we're eager to get some flyers from them so we can hand out the website. I'm sure that, you know, they want to be a longtime partner for us. So, which is fantastic because then, you know, sometimes we all struggle getting an audiologist to come and bring the right equipment and do this. So we were very excited to have this find. I can send out the flyer as well so you guys can learn more about what we've heard so far because they did send us a little flyer. Let me look at this location so far. Oh, Westminster again.
Wow.
And YMCA Boulder they asked for. So this is up to you guys. None of this is forced, right? And so Carrie or I, one of us can go to Spring and see if you have room for something else. You need a quiet space for that one.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind, Becca and Max, that if you guys don't have a quiet room for hearing, then it's just not a good idea. And I can always recommend other sites to this organization. It's called Audacious. I don't know if I'm saying it right. It's AUDCIUS. AUDCIUS. So feel free to, I'll send out the flyer, but you can Google it and look it up a little bit. They are based out of Chicago, actually, but they have a branch in Denver as well.
Very cool.
And Becca, what do you think? Is that something that you guys want to add? You want a hearing screening?
We'd definitely be interested, but yeah, we need to make sure that we can have a quiet space. Maybe we can see if there's a room that's kind of off the main area. So we'll check into that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and Carrie, if they, if it doesn't work out with one of those, could I recommend Longmont to this
Yeah.
company?
We could find a quiet room because we have access to more rooms because we aren't offering every screening. So if they are open to it, we'll find a quiet space for them.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. And then I think for the Regis students, it's only YMCA because of the date restrictions that they were available. I think you guys are the only one that are getting Regis students. Is that, Becca, you guys have that right in your list already, that Regis students are coming to help with height, weight, BMI, and blood pressure? And I think COVID education.
Yeah, we actually have 2 students signed up for specifically doing COVID education.
Just the COVID. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. It was just 2. So not height, weight, BMI, or blood pressure, just COVID. Okay.
COVID education?
Mhm.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And Alex, I wasn't sure if this one applied to any of our sites, maybe Mile High Flea Market, because it is a Denver Health entity.
Yeah. So far, let's see, the Denver Healthcare Navigators, we talked about for, others on the meeting here. They have all bilingual care navigators that are trying to get women to access. We need some more stuff for men. Just thinking about, we're doing a lot of stuff for women between the breast and the pap and having these care navigators and da. So next year, we're going to have some more hybrid stuff going on, right?
Nice.
So the care navigators, I believe they picked totally Denver sites. They were willing when I had a meeting with them, but then when I looked at the list that they sent me, I was like, that's all Denver. So if you want to keep going, I'll look for her email. I clearly have too many emails, you guys.
Okay. For the Quest Lab supplies and manuals, so that there are a few updates to the manual. Again, that can be found in the resource page. This wasn't actually covered in today's meeting. They had some kind of emergency training that was happening, and they had to get out of the building. So we missed this update, which we all desperately wanted. Now the lab supervisor training, there's a couple that are available there. They're on Zoom. And so for Becca and my site, our lab supervisor is Jenny, and she and I are going to attend the one on March 29th. So we'll both be in that session to go over all of the new information. But I'll just reach out to the other site coordinators and make sure that whomever they have chosen for their lab supervisor, that they must attend one of these 2 sessions. Other trainings, publicity webinar, there's, and I'll include this when I send out the agenda and this recording. These are links that you can click on, and it'll take you right to the recordings. It'll take you to the nuts and bolts area where you can kind of get all of this information. It's in so many places. It's really great. The cashier supervisor training, I did actually download that. Again, whomever your cashier supervisor happens to be, training is in person. So these are the dates that are on the agenda. So make sure that your cashier supervisor knows and can attend one of these. I think I'm going with our cashier supervisor. I think Friday the 15th of April. So I'll go to a cashier supervisor training. So, if something happens with cashiering, I'll at least have that information if something happens.
Yeah, they're really cool, you guys. I just have to say, the Square terminals that we're gonna have now.
Oh, nice.
Feel like, because we've always been trying to catch up with technology. Like as an organization, we just have always been behind the curve. And I feel like we're there now. This is very current and what a lot of new businesses are doing. So these Square terminals are very cool. And you can add on, just like click a percentage button to ask for a donation. Anne was looking into that feature, like rounding up to the next dollar for donation. So we're not sure about that one yet, but there were just a lot of really easy functionality. At the end, you can print a whole report right from the machine, right from the Square terminal. So there's a nice kind of backup to the reconciliation that the cashier supervisors do at the end. You're going to love it. It was really cool. We were like little kids going through the training. Yeah. And I'm looking at this stuff for the Denver Health Women's Care Navigators, and they are all sites in Denver that they picked. If something changes, because a bunch of these sites cannot host these care navigators, we'll definitely let you guys know. If anyone, the other kind of nice thing about them was they come with their own tables, chairs, and pop-up tents. So if the day is nice, they could even be outside. Yeah. So I'll let you guys know if their space opens up in their schedule.
Yeah, that'd be great. I kind of like the idea of putting them back there by the pap and breast area. That was a great idea.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, because Denver Health is a safety net hospital, should we, 9Health as an organization, be digging into more safety net hospital kind of programs? Our emails were sent out to the Women's Wellness Connection that CDPHE runs, the state runs it. So we gave all these women's programs a chance to, like, hey, join in with us. And we got very limited response. Grand County, someone responded to us. There were a few other statewide sites, but in Denver, the only two entities that followed up with us was an organization called Vuela for Health, very focused on our new Latino, Latinx kind of sites. And then this Denver Health. So we need to get some more love going on for the other suburbs of Denver. So I'll work on that in years to come. But if you guys have recommendations of, places we should be reaching out for these similar kind of resources, let me know, and I'm happy to help with it.
Great. Let's see. Oh, so the phlebotomy refresher. So this one is hosted at our campus right before the YMCA fair. But there's also one at the Aurora Pima College a little bit earlier. So again, kind of let your phlebotomy volunteers know that there are a couple of phlebotomy refreshers. And just a reminder that this is not a practice session. We're not necessarily teaching any skills. They should already have those. This is what the 9Health Fair kids look like this year. This is what the paperwork looks like this year, and kind of the flow of what it's going to look like into the lab area. And this is hosted by the Quest trainers, so it'll be a very consistent presentation. This is also something that they can RSVP to. So there's an event section in the volunteer management system where they can sign up to do one of these. All right, so I'm so happy that I can delete this, right? Because everybody's completed their steps. Yay. Thanks, Alan, for reminding everybody last time at the end of our meeting to get your steps done. So yay us. Just some other reminders. Online registration will remain open until the morning of your fair. So don't print your report too early, because kind of right before the doors open, you could still get a few more people sneaking in there. Discount code for volunteers is Thank You Vol 22. The supply delivery is not handled by the National Guard this year. It is by Project Cure. And Alex, do we know when those supplies might be delivered?
Yeah, Adele was really kind of nudging along that partnership since the Guard fell off a week ago. We think that they actually had to get involved with stuff that's going on in Ukraine. So fully support us having to work our tails off right now to find another partner, because they need to help. So we got it. As stressful as it is, it's like, yep, this is just the priority now. So the Project Cure, it seems like we had so many details lined up last week. And then the beginning of this week, it's been kind of radio silent. So not to say that they're not helping, not trying to scare. Regardless, I think I said on the meeting this morning, whether we're shipping stuff, driving stuff, or Project Cure is doing it, we're getting you guys your supplies. We're still shooting for that 2 weeks prior to each fair. That's what we told Project Cure, is that was our goal, was to get each site their stuff 2 weeks. So in that, well, I know a lot of times we would give you your date sticker ahead of time in a separate format, wouldn't be in your supplies. We're trying to get everything together in one place. So your date stickers for your banners should be there. New sites, just like Westminster and, the Fort Collins, Front Range, and Mile High will all have banners in their supplies as well. Coming soon signs will be in those to go out. So lots of good stuff, but our goal is still 2 weeks prior. Yep. I wanted to mention another code. I don't know if you want to put it in here. So the Thank You Vol 22 is going to be for your Day of the Fair volunteers, and that gives 20% off of everything. We have a discount code for you guys as well. There is a Thank You Leaders 22, and it gives you completely free blood chemistry and A1C. So when you go in, you could go and register right now. It would only allow you to register at a Quest Patient Service Center right now to get your blood work done. If you wait until next week, when Find a Fair opens up, then you can choose if you want to get your blood work done at a fair or at a Quest Patient Service Center. So this is 9Health's gift and thank you to you guys for doing so much. And we want you to take care of yourselves too.
Alex, just a quick question. So if we choose, you said we could do it at a fair, right?
Yeah, yes.
If not at the Quest place. Okay. So how's that paperwork handled? Like if you're at a fair, you would sign off on it, or if you're not, who does that? The site coordinator or cashier?
Yeah. So ideally you could register ahead of time and pick your fare. So then you would go through the online registration line, and the payment of it being free would all be taken care of. So that's the most ideal way.
Okay.
But we did a couple years ago allow our volunteers to go and get their 20% off of everything by using that. They didn't have to use the code, but it's just like the code that Thank You Vol 22 gave all volunteers 20% off of anything they purchased. So I need to check with Anne. I think she's going to have to set this up in the Square terminals to make sure that the cashiers can do the Thank You Leaders discount as well. I know that the 20% off one is already programmed into it. The cashiers can do that one right on site. And I can tell you that for sure, because it was in our training. But the other one, it's a very good question. I'll have to ask that one.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, good question, Jenny. We just set up that code. So I'm sure that Anne probably has to do some work to make that an option at the fair. So best thing to happen is you pre-register ahead of the fair.
Okay, cool.
that. Okay. Flow, I know that we didn't talk about the flow of supplies last time. But typically what happens is the supplies, the centrifuge machines, scales and yard signs they'll go from one site to the next, to the next, to the next. And I imagine since we only have a few, that this is probably pretty easy. Hoping, Alex, this is easy for you all. The YMCA would most likely flow to us at Longmont, and then Longmont would flow to the Westminster campus, and Westminster campus would flow maybe to Mile High Flea Market. And because 2 Front Range sites are on the same day, I'm sure what the Larimer campus is getting supplies directly.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys, especially you, Carrie and Jenny, since you guys have so much experience with lab areas, Edith and Kristen and I were trying to create a flow for Jerry and Melissa at Quest, so that they can get, my dog is whining. I'm sorry, you guys, if you hear him. So we were trying to create this, and then they asked us to pick the numbers, and we're like, aren't you supposed to tell us how many centrifuge machines based on, how big we think they are? We're not lab people. So you guys know labs very well. So maybe you can be guinea pigs here. Jake, stop. It's one. Yep. So we're going to start with YMCA on April 16th. And then we had that flow to Longmont, Westminster next, and end with Mile High Flea Market. That's our flow, pretty simple. And then statewide sites, as you guys probably know, are treated very differently. Quest sends those and has those curried back with the blood. So then they just have this circulation going depending on when fairs are happening. So they're getting those back with the couriers from the statewide sites. We just need to create this flow in the metro area, and they handle everything statewide. So what they said for what we estimated was 8 to 10 small centrifuge machines for you guys. But if that seems way off, let me know. I know Jerry was saying they're struggling having enough of the large ones. So if we can get any large ones, we'll try. But does that seem right to you guys? 8 to 10 smaller ones?
That actually seems high to me. I've never seen a site set up more than 6 centrifuges at any given site, and that includes stuff like Thornton Rec Center, where we were doing 1,000 sticks.
Yeah.
But they may have been using large ones too, because Sue used to bring her own centrifuges. But 6 to 10 would definitely be more than adequate.
Each centrifuge holds 8 tubes, Jenny, or 6 tubes?
6 tubes.
6 tubes. And they centrifuge for 12 minutes.
And
So
based on-
you're centrifuging potentially 60 samples every 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think, especially for our fair, I mean, if those estimated numbers, Alex, do you know what they're estimating for YMCA?
Yeah, hold on. Let me find our what we call Questimates. We're looking at so many different spreadsheets, you guys. It's really insane. I don't even know how. It's a lot, but it's all there. So every time someone's asked a question, I'm like, just give me a minute. I got it somewhere. Okay. Now this is based on past numbers, you guys. If you guys feel strongly that something needs to be tweaked, but we're anticipating 400 for YMCA. And that's based on when we looked at past data over since 2015 to 2019 really is what we used for these estimates.
That's probably a good number.
I'm gonna let my dog out real quick, you guys. He is whining.
Yeah, that probably is enough centrifuges for 400.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah. All I'm saying is 8 to 10 would be more than adequate. I used to have a guy who just swore he needed 14 of them. And he never used more than 6, but he just wanted 8 backups. But anyway, what I'm pointing out is that anything over 10 is pretty difficult to haul around. At 8 to 10, you might be able to fit them in a car or an SUV, but anything over 10, you're going to need a truck.
Yeah, and you helped haul a lot of those for the Adams site, so
Right,
you
exactly.
had to deal with that. Yeah. Yeah,
For
well,
us,
if you guys,
sometimes-
oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
No, you go, Carrie.
Sometimes it's hard to find enough electrical outlets for us, and it makes the room super hot to have more than, I think, to have more than 10.
Should we
It-
stick with this if we ask for,
I think 10 is, I mean, I'd prefer to have 10. The college has, I have a huge one as well. That if we get behind in spinning, I have a big one that holds 12.
well, and luckily we're in the metro area, right? So if something happens, and whether it's me or Alan or whoever has the capacity that day, if Quest can't get to us, we go and get it if someone's, so, okay, I will let them know 10. It seems like Edith with her wisdom and years of experience might have been on the right track. So she did a good job with those estimates.
What are the other questions?
Yeah, does you love that number
I do.
or that name?
I do.
Okay, so let's see, Longmont. Where are you guys in here? Is it in F? Is it in Front Range instead of, oh, there it is. I can't imagine if we had a year that was back to 100 again, you guys would see my reaction much slower. Okay, we had 700 for Longmont. Maybe a little high, but you guys are a very tenured site and there's nothing else close to you.
I'm really hoping that since it's been so long since we've done fairs, that all of these numbers are going to bump.
I hope
Yeah.
so.
And then for Westminster, so we had 700 for Longmont. For Westminster, we said 450. Hopefully higher for them, but because I mean, like we had a big North Glen site, we've had past Westminster sites, and there's nothing in that area now.
Yeah, it could be
But
big.
yeah, it could be, but it's a Friday, so that one was tricky. We were like,
That is tough.
yeah. And then the last one, Mile High Flea Market, also new site, so it's hard to estimate. We said 300 there. Usually our new sites, as you guys know, are smaller, so we didn't want to go too big.
But the Larimer campus, was that also kind of low at
Oh
400?
yeah, let's see that one. Fort Collins, 600. And we kind of based that one on Timberline. Timberline Church that used to run there was big,
Yeah,
very big. So that's why we bumped that one up a little bit.
I'm really bummed I can't go to that one.
Yeah, same day.
I know.
That's our biggest day. We have a lot of fairs that on the 23rd. So it's gonna be a tricky one where it's all hands on deck.
Yeah. Well, next year, maybe FRCC will coordinate a little bit better so that we at each site.
Yeah. Sarah emailed me today and said she's still looking for cashier and lab supervisor. And I was like, She has no one on her campus that can help with lab
I
supervision.
told her that she needed to contact anybody in the medical assisting and the phlebotomy. Faculty members should step up to fill those positions. I'll email her again.
Can you help lecture them? Here's what she said. She said, she went to Angie Peach
Yep.
to ask about cashier and lab supervision. They didn't have any suggestions at the moment. So she
That's
wanted to see
ridiculous.
if I might have suggestions.
That is, okay, I'll reach out to Angie myself.
Thank you, Carrie. I can always let me know because especially with the cashiering one, I don't feel as confident with helping with lab. But you know, that Lions Club used to be so engaged with the fair up there. So we might be able to get them to help out.
Okay. All right, it's on my radar.
Okay.
Okay. So the other thing was having sponsors at the health fair. If individual sites can host sponsors. I don't think we can. It's really, I mean, we just got the okay not to have to check vaccination records for participants. So I don't want to push it by asking if we can have a whole bunch of tables and chairs in there and having people set up inside the building. I think the less people we have kind of jamming up the entryway with tables and booths is better. And it's probably the same for all the FRCC sites. So I don't think that Front Range will be able to host any sponsors unless they're outside.
Yeah. Well, if anyone hears from Christine Betts, she's part of our philanthropy team. If she reaches out to you, just one suggestion to make to everybody is if sponsors want to send giveaways, and that's just on like an exit table or something like that, then you have no people, right? No extra people crowding up the area. But if they want to send flyers and giveaways and mail them and you guys put them out, it could be a nice compromise. But if you don't have space and you want to tread lightly this year, then that's what we do, right?
I think an exit giveaway thing might be fun to have.
Yeah.
Again,
That's a good idea.
if it's not crowded in a crowded area, or if it's outside, that'd be great.
Yeah. Well, let me know if you guys hear from Christine and it's not, you're struggling with, how to compromise and it doesn't seem like it's working out. She's wonderful. She's fantastic. So she'll really do whatever you guys need her to do.
Great. And the COVID vaccine at health fairs, 23 sites were requested, and is everybody being accommodated for the COVID vaccine?
Yep, Safeway came through big time and
That
they
is
said
awesome.
yes. Yeah, every single site that asked for COVID vaccines got it. So I know Sarah said no. Sarah told me, no, I don't think we can do this year. It's just too much for me to handle and find space for. So I didn't try for her. But I think, did everybody else? I'm trying to remember. I don't think I did for Mile High, but for Westminster, Longmont, and then Becca, remind me. See, this is why I have spreadsheets because I can't remember.
Yeah, I think we did request it. So that would be awesome.
Yeah, let me double check for everybody. So make sure I got you all captured. I capture it as I go, and then it's out of my lungs. It's out of my brain. Okay, so she's got it, I think, in chronological order. I do everything in alphabetical order. YMCA is there, and that's a yes. Longmont, you're there, and there's a yes. Westminster is there, and that's a yes. Yep, they're all there, and I do not see. No, yep, I didn't put Fort Collins or Mile High, so
Mile High is not there.
nope, that one's not there.
Okay.
Yeah, their space is quite unique. I mean, you guys, I don't know how many people have been to Mile High Flea Market. It's going to be tricky. I just pray there's no spring snowstorm that day because we're really outside when we do the entire thing. So, yeah.
Alex, with the Safely COVID, they're bringing all of their own supplies.
They are really the only thing that sites need to think about is possibly pairing them with a non-medical volunteer or two to help with the registration papers. So it just helps with the flow. So the pharmacist not doing everything. I know I added in for Longmont. I'll look back at the YMCA site, but I did add in a vaccine support position. And I put 2 volunteers in there for you guys. So I'll go double check on the other 2 and make sure that I have that position for all 3.
Great. Okay. And then the car boxes. So all district leaders will receive a car box for just in case something's running low or is missing. And we're also lucky too, because we have so many medical supplies in our arsenal at the college that we tend to sometimes dig into our reserves if we are missing something. And it's usually things like extra small gloves or extra large gloves.
Yep.
So when will we get those, Alex? Is that something that will be delivered?
Yeah.
Or
I had kind of suggested in the meeting this morning, and I didn't get a lot of feedback yet internally or externally from volunteers or staff. But the last week in March or for very first week in April, thinking one of those 2 weeks. What would your preference be, Carrie? Alan too.
Well, Carrie, listen, as long as I'm within 15 miles or a lot shorter distance, when I go to pick up my car box, I'll pick up yours too.
okay, great.
And bring it to the first fair. So.
Oh, well, you know what?
Or-
I'll be at the cashier training.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I'll
We could do
be, I'm coming to 9 Health on the 15th of April to pick it up.
Yeah, Alan, what do you think about coming to a cashier training and you could get yours then? Maybe we should coincide them because so many are at the office.
Well, does anybody know that I've been convicted of embezzlement?
You guys haven't heard all of Alan's jokes. This was a common thing at our Adams district meetings. This is what he does. He brought desserts and tells jokes. Right, Alan?
Yeah, and let me look at the schedule
Okay.
and see what fits in, and maybe I'll just come to one
Yeah.
and dovetail it in with picking up my car box too.
Okay.
But Carrie, let me put this out there, Carrie. If you need anything, anybody to make a run, I can make a run a lot easier than you can and bring stuff up to you guys rather than you guys drive all the way down here, especially when gas is going to be hitting $5 a gallon soon.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind.
Okay, Alan, thank you.
Yeah, and at the same time, I know we listed what was in the car boxes, but we can do the directional signs and, an extra scale or 2 so that, if somebody's scale isn't working at their height, weight, BMI, so we can give those to the district leaders as well. So you guys have those back up in addition to your car box.
Alex, just really quick, no tubes in the car boxes?
Yeah, we asked in the fall, Jerry Bebo did not give us extra tubes. Do you remember, Carrie, on that supply list that Kristen sent out? I just can't recall right now. Or do you, Jenny? You got it too, didn't you?
Yeah, I have it in front of me.
And there was no tubes on it?
No,
Yeah, we should
Even
ask
if it's a,
Jerry.
one flat of
Yes.
tiger and one flat of lavender.
especially at the RA sites.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
gosh, that's where we run out of tubes, is because everybody
RA.
decides they want to join the RA study. And then we're out of tigers for regular draws.
So one flat of each for each district, you're thinking, something like that?
At least, yeah.
Okay, let me
That
ask.
is one thing I don't have extra of at the college, because we have donated supplies and all our tubes are expired, so we can't use
Oh,
those.
so they're just for practice, not real blood draw. I see. Okay. Okay, let me see what Jerry says.
Great.
It's better just to have it because then we can flow it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, I'll find out.
great.
Yeah, and Ellen, that might be a good thing. There was some stuff like the issues back and forth between Quest and 9Health. And so I'll let you know if that's something you might be able to help with when there's some extra supplies here or there that you might be able to support us in getting in-house. So I'll reach out to you about that and see if it's something you might want to help with.
Okay,
Okay.
Super. Okay. Are there any other things I'm missing, need to cover? Anybody have any concerns? Becca,
I had a
Max?
question real quick. So you mentioned Colgren Dermatology.
Mhm.
We've actually been struggling to get a dermatologist. So I was just wondering if you had like a contact from there that I'd be able to reach out to.
Yeah, Dr. Colgren. She is
Oh,
awesome.
okay.
Max, I'll put that on my list. I'll email you some contact information.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hey, question for you, Max and Becca. Are the Rocky Vista students helping with that one as well? And you just want a dermatologist paired up with them?
Right now we only have RVU students that wanted to come for PAP, prostate, and ask a medical question.
Okay.
I mean, I could ask Adriana if there's additional students that might be interested in
Yeah, go
dermatology.
with the dermatologist first. That would
Yeah.
be confusing. And if that doesn't work out, then we can definitely, see if Rocky Vista is an option, because they told us they could do skin if we really needed.
Yep.
But if you have a doctor, go with the doctor.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Colgren has a really big office, and she has a lot of docs that work for her. So, but oftentimes she loves the health fair, so she often comes herself. So, I think that we've had 6 of her people at one fair. I think the last one we did, there were 6 of them. So it was amazing.
Wow.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be sure to send that to you soon.
Has stuff worked out with the, I know you had one thing solved, either the tables or chairs. How are you guys doing now on all the equipment?
We
We're
are
all
good.
good. Yeah, luckily.
Yeah, shout out
Well
to Max
done.
for
How'd that happen?
being persistent.
Where did you guys score? Did you get a donation from another local company?
Yeah, so a place that I had reached out to in January called me, I think like a week after the last meeting. So it's kind of like put it into existence. So they called me and said that they could donate most of the tables and chairs, and then the YMCA actually was able to fill the gap. So yeah, it worked out.
Very cool.
Awesome. Yes, very cool.
Mhm. Great. Anything else? Do we want to have another meeting in April? Becca, you think, yeah, I think so too. Just even to touch base, it could be short, but I think that we really need to touch base in April. So April 13th, it's a Wednesday, 6 to 7. Is that okay? All right.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
Rudy.
do like an extra bonus for the sites that all join. And I'm going to like personally give extra gift cards, whether it's like $25, $50 gift card to use, because I want these new sites to join real bad. Like they need to come to this stuff so they hear the resources you guys have, problem solve with us. So I'm gonna bribe. Just put it out there. I'm doing it. And that includes you guys. You guys would get the incentive too. So yeah, just Carrie, just know that I am doing it because we need them here, right?
I like the sound of that. I love extra credit.
Alan, I cut you off, I think. Were you gonna say something too?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, it's great to see everybody always. And I'll see you in a month. Becca and Max, enjoy spring break. Hope you get one.
Thank you. Yeah, coming up week and a half.
Awesome. Us too. All
Nice.
right. Have a great night, everybody. See you next
Thank
time.
you.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Bye. Have a good night.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, honey. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.